All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Maggie McLaughlin. I'm a junior strategic communication major, and welcome to our presentation on frogs for wellness. So the reason I wanted to join is because I wanted to be more involved on campus. And even though I didn't know a lot about wellness going into it, I was very interested in it. So you can come into it with any amount of knowledge you have.
Hi everyone, my name is May. I'm a combined science major. I'm a sophomore, and two reasons why I decided to join the Proper Wellness Education program was because I am just interested in health and wellness in general, and also I wanted to step out of my comfort zone and just be more confident and improve my communication skills.
All right, so on to the next slide. Peer education is really important because of a question like this. Are students more likely to seek advice from a peer or a staff or faculty member? And since we are all college students, we're the ones who are able to relate to each other better than maybe a staff or faculty member could. And since we all have shared experiences, most people would rather seek advice from a peer rather than a staff or faculty member. And then onto the next slide of why peer, same slide, why peer education is we tend to listen to our friends and peers more day to day than maybe staff. And so if as peer educators, we're able to inform our other peers about wellness, maybe they're more likely to listen, and peer educators are able to present information on wellness in a more relatable way since it's about us as well.
So who are we? So we are a part of the campus recreation and wellness promotion department, and we specifically focus on wellness education. Our goal is to educate students on health-related topics and provide information that the students may or may not know, with the desire to help the students stay informed and therefore better able to make their own decisions that align with their personal values and goals. Next slide, please.
So a peer educator we have a retreat at the beginning of the semester where we're able to bond with each other. It's a really nice, fun group of people, and we're able to learn about all the different resources available on campus and define the different dimensions of wellness and learn how to facilitate activities, how we want to interact with different people on campus. And it's a great way to start the semester off and feel confident when it comes to the outreaches and campaigns that you'll do later in the semester. And then we have weekly meetings, Thursday at 4 to 5, and we talk about different wellness aspects. We have different guest speakers come in, or maybe someone in our department will talk to us from aspects from drug education to religious and spiritual life. We also use our time in our meetings to plan our upcoming events.
So what are the roles of a peer educator? So we engage in conversations covering a wide range of topics, such as, but not limited to, physical health, mental health, sexual health, education on alcohol use and consumption, stress management strategies, healthy sleep habits, financial literacy also. And so we do this by hosting tabling events that we call like outreach events. And also we have bigger educational campaigns as well. And we will talk about these campaigns and this outreach events later in the presentation.
So how we do all of this is, as May said, we have outreaches and campaigns, which we'll touch on in a little bit. And even when everything was virtual, we still did Zoom events, and we still do now, so that we still are able to connect with people virtually. We have passive programs, which are displays that a peer educator isn't at, but students are still able to interact with the display, even if a peer educator is not there to facilitate it. There's a lot of partnering with residence halls. We go into a lot of first year halls and do a lot of stress management activities. We make sugar scrubs and stress balls. We do financial wellness activities. and a lot of alcohol education, because those are things that are really relevant to us as college students. And we also do a lot of social media work. We create all of the content for the Instagram and the Facebook at TCU Wellness. And it's a lot of fun. We've gotten to learn a lot about how to create content, and it's been great. So some campaigns, so a campaign is, as May said, it's a bigger event, and it's the difference between a campaign and an outreach is on an outreach, you have a smaller group of people. Campaigns are bigger, there's bigger people, there's more people in them, and you have a bigger budget for them. A campaign that May and I were both in, which there's a couple pictures from it, is we did a safe spring break campaign a couple of weeks ago. And I talked about sun protection with people, and we tie-dyed bucket hats, and it was a lot of fun.
For my tape, personally, I was doing positive body image. So I asked the participants to write down one thing that they feel like they like about themselves, or what they like and they love about their body on a piece of paper, and then I had them frame it just as a daily reminder to, remember to give your body more credit. It was really fun because I got to talk to a lot of students, and we were able to have a lot of meaningful conversations. And it was just fun talking to new people, and just got to know their perspectives on that topic, on body positivity.
There are also some pictures in there of our suicide prevention campaign, which is at the very beginning of this school year. So Maggie was explaining passive events. There's some chairs that represent the number of students who commit suicide each day. So we wanted that to be very noticeable and visible on campus. And then we had some tabling events throughout that week as well. And then Maggie or May, do you want to talk about the technology and wellness campaign or any of the other campaigns that we've done?
Sure. So May and I were also a part of a wellness and technology campaign, and there were two sides of the event. There was a group of people doing a time off tech event where we talked about lessening screen time. But May and I, we worked on a part of the event called Apps and Appetizers, where we got a whole bunch of food, and we looked at all the different dimensions of wellness and found great apps to help students work on those dimensions of wellness, from like meditation apps for spiritual wellness, and also apps to help with financial wellness. So it was a really fun way to interact with people, and everyone was happy because there was a lot of food. It was a great event.
Yeah, I feel like it was a really fun time because a lot of students didn't know about the apps, and because normally we're kind of tied to like Instagram and Facebook, and then those social media, sometimes they're good, but then sometimes they can also be negative. So it's just helpful that students are informed of other apps that could improve their overall wellness and holistic health. So it was really fun because we could see the reactions of the students that they said, oh my God, I didn't know this app even existed, things like that.
Okay, and then we also have outreaches, which we talked about. They're smaller events. You're in a smaller team of people, and they range from any type of, any aspect of wellness. You get to be really creative about what you want to do it on, something that you're passionate about that you think other students will want to engage with. So an outreach that May and I did at the beginning of the year was called Blues Clues, which there was a little advertisement for it at the beginning of the presentation, which was a really fun event because it was at the beginning of the year. We were right next to Union Grounds in the bottom of the Blue. So a lot of first years came by, and we're able to talk to them about eating away from home for the first time, how they're dealing with nutrition on campus and eating in the Blue. So we were able to give them some nutritional tips, but also have a fun conversation about dining on campus.
Another outreach event that also me and Maggie did this semester was Caffeine Conscious. And so we were talking about like caffeine consumption and what the reasonable level of caffeine consumption is, what are some of the benefits of moderate caffeine consumption, as well as some of the downsides for too much caffeine consumption. We feel like caffeine is such a big part for students in college just because of how many homework we have to do. So it was really fun because the students usually associate caffeine as something negative. However, it's not always necessarily the case. So it was a very educational event.
And then for social media, we get to make Instagram and Facebook content. This is an example of something that you could do on social media that my friend Mackenzie and I did. She's also part of Frogs for Wellness, and we saw a correlation between how the holiday times is a very stressful time, especially financially. So we did the 12 days of a financially festive holiday, and it was so much fun. We came up with 12 different tips for financial wellness, came up with fun little names, and these got posted on the TCU Wellness Instagram story. So you're able to get really creative with the content that you're able to put out.
And so what would you be able to gain as a Frog for Wellness peer educator? First off, communication skills. So this is, as I previously mentioned, one of the reasons why I decided to join the Frog for Wellness program. I felt like I was a really shy person. I wouldn't have thought that I would ever be able to host like a tabling event. That terrifies me. It still does, but it's getting better. And then you were able to gain teamwork skills because most of the time you work as a group. Social media events is the opportunity where you can work on a topic that is of your interest individually. Time management skills, because this is like an extracurricular activity, and so you'll be able to up your time management game to try to incorporate everything in. Event planning skills, because a lot of the times we spend time in our meeting, in a weekly meeting to plan our outreaches, our campaigns. There's also a semester stipend as a reward for your completion of all the requirements during a semester. Definitely this is a leadership position, so you will be able to gain leadership experiences, and it's just a very fun group to be a part of. All of the other FP educators are amazing. The graduate assistants like Taylor, they're very dedicated. They always make you feel so special, especially during like holiday celebration. You will feel like you're like on top of the world because they make you feel so special. So yeah, those are what I think you will be able to gain as a peer educator.
So the criteria to be in Frogs for Wellness is you have to be enrolled as a full-time student at TCU. You have to have completed at least one full semester here, have a minimum GPA of 2.5, be willing to serve as a positive role model to other students, display a positive attitude, be mature and responsible, be in good conduct standing with TCU. And if you're interested in joining, maybe not being in it first fall semester, but being in it spring semester, you can contact Yvonne, her contact information is on the next slide. But you can also apply right now. Applications are open on the TCU Campus Rec website. If you go to Wellness Education, there's a tab on that, and then there's a Frogs Wellness Peer Education tab, and the application is found there.
Remember to follow us on social media on Instagram and Facebook at TCU Wellness to stay up to date on our upcoming events. You can review our contact information on the Campus Recreation website. And that's it.
We have a few common questions that are often asked. So for Maggie or May, what motivated you to apply and ultimately accept taking on the role of a Frogs for Wellness peer educator?
I got an email that was talking about what Frogs for Wellness was, and I was at home because it was second semester my freshman year, which was when we were sent home for COVID. And so I was feeling kind of disconnected from campus because I wasn't there anymore. And so I got this email and I was like, that sounds like a very positive way to impact the campus. And it made me really excited. I was nervous because I felt rather out of my element because I didn't feel like I knew enough, but everyone was so welcoming when I was in my interview. You're not expected to be an expert in anything. We're here to learn. And as peer educators, we are here to educate, but we're also really here to learn. So I've decided to be in it because of that. And I stay in it because of the people. I mean, everyone is so fun. We have so much fun at our meetings. And I have like started to enjoy event planning and being a leader in these roles that used to really intimidate me, but now I have just a lot of fun with it.
I also heard of the Frogs for Wellness program during COVID. That was during my first freshman year. My whole freshman year was online. So I was a nursing major and I loved what I was studying. I really loved like how you can get like really sciencey about health, and basically there was something about health that really interested me. So when I heard of this program, I was like, ooh, I could use information I learned in my classes to make it public, like make it impactful for everybody on campus. And so that's what motivated me to apply, but also to, be a part of a team, part of a group, because as Maggie said, that was during COVID. And I also feel like I was disconnected with campus. So being a part of a group like this would be able to help me to connect more to TCU. And also hosting tabling events is going to improve your confidence, your communication skills so much. Maggie actually, and one of the reasons I decided to stay at the program is also because of Maggie, because Maggie is such an amazing friend that not only it's just fun to have, she's amazing. Basically, she's one of the people that helped me gain my confidence throughout my time here at Frogs for Wellness program. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, May has done so much work and has grown so much in this, and she's amazing.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you both so much for sharing. Another common question is the Frogs for Wellness peer educator position demanding, and how do you balance this position with all of your other responsibilities?
I would say Frogs for Wellness gives you a lot of opportunities to take on more work, but there's also opportunities to kind of take a step back and not be like, you don't have to be a lead of every single thing that you're doing. If things are feeling a little overwhelming, you're able to be a part of a campaign or an outreach where maybe someone else is like the lead position and you get to kind of take a step back. It's never felt like too much for me. Obviously, everyone is different, but I think the people who work here are very understanding and see our schoolwork as coming first, and they see us as students and as people and realize that this is supposed to be a very fun but challenging thing to be a part of, and they're very flexible. They're not intimidating. They're really here to help us be better people and grow in our communication skills. And so they're really here to help us out if things are feeling like too much.
I completely agree with Maggie. And I think that if you are able to spread your responsibilities, like your participation in outreaches and campaigns throughout the semester, it's not going to be overwhelming. And as Maggie said, they are very flexible. For instance, I have a class this semester at the time where we usually have the meeting. And so I'm not able to attend a meeting. However, Yvonne and Taylor have been really flexible in allowing me to meet with Taylor at a different time every week to catch up on what the other peer educators discuss during the meeting. And that being said, they're very flexible, very supportive, and your participation in outreaches and campaigns is really up to you. Like you will sign up whenever you're available, but just keep in mind to spread the events out, and that would not be an issue. That wouldn't be overwhelming at all.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Another question we have is, what is your favorite wellness topic and what's your favorite event that you've ever done?
Ooh. I would say my favorite wellness topic is I really enjoy like body positivity, and May came up with a really great part of the spring break, Safe Spring Break campaign, because that was a really integral part of spring break, is feeling confident in yourself and what you wear. I haven't done a lot of work with body positivity yet, but my favorite thing that I've been a part of has probably been apps and appetizers. It was like the biggest thing that I've been a part of here. And it felt a little different than other things I had done here. And people were really into it and really enjoyed the little activities we had, where we had people name an app that was the prompt. And then there were different words afterwards. So like an app that's made you feel insecure, an app that's made you laugh, an app that's educated you. So it was just fun getting to interact with those people. And it was a topic that I didn't know a lot about. Like a lot of the apps, I had no idea were a thing. And so then I had to research them, and now I use some of them. So I would say that was probably been my favorite event.
I really like the activity of like Maggie, where she did the tie-dye thing, because I personally got a tie-dyed hat too. And that was my first time doing that. So that was really fun. Another, I think, outreach event was one that I did with another graduate assistant, Sarah. We did an alcohol outreach, and it was, so initially it started off not really well because nobody participated. But then I felt like I should reach out to people, I should call people in and things like that. And just over the course of that outreach alone, I felt like I've grown so much in terms of confidence, because I think that was the first time that I have ever been that confident and be willing to like step out of my comfort zone. So that was personally very meaningful to me in terms of my growth and my confidence. And also alcohol consumption is something that I'm not familiar with before I did that. So that was also very educational for me as well as for other students.
Awesome, thank you. Another question is, what advice would you give to a brand new peer educator just starting their position?
I would say, a good piece of advice is to, I would say, put yourself out there, sign up for things to help with. There's a lot of times where maybe someone is able to have a little more of a leading role. And even though it's very intimidating, it's such a kind group of people, and they're so willing to help you that it's a good idea to kind of take that risk and go for it, because no one's going to let you fail, or, you're going to learn from everything that you do. And also, I mean, cliche, but be yourself, because, that's absolutely enough. And we're just really excited to meet you and have you be a part of our group. And it's going to be great.
I think just take this as an opportunity, even though it might be very, very terrifying if you're not familiar with if you're not used to doing tabling events. Just think of this as an opportunity to learn and to grow. Because if you think that way, then your attitude, your behavior would change as well, because you would try to again, show up for yourself and step out of your comfort zone. And that effort will allow you to learn so much from the campaigns, the events, and just the interactions with other peer educators in the program.
All right, thank you so much. We have one last question, and that is, what is your very favorite thing about being a Frogs for Wellness peer educator?
My favorite would have to be the people, from like our students and then everyone who works in the office. It's a very kind group of people who have so much fun, and it's just a blast hanging out with them. They're people who I probably wouldn't have met any other way. And so being able to just spend time with them, and then I'm able to work in the office a couple hours a week, and just being able to be around the office is just so much fun. I love being there. So that has to be my favorite thing.
My favorite memory, oh my God, I have so much. I think that has to do with the holiday celebrations that graduate assistants throw for us. As I said, you would always feel so special in those celebrations. Yeah, it's just a nice time to just sit with everybody else and just interact with everyone. You know, it's just a fun time catching up.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us for our info session. If you have any questions, please feel free to email or call those phone numbers and that email address. And then don't forget to apply to be a Frogs for Wellness peer educator on our website. Thank you.
Thank you.